almost Division Street,
Mm-hmm.
picked all ran around. I got footage of that because I'm like, how the fuck is they take that much scenery around?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, from Pennsylvania where all the way to Brunt, all the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. We live now, though.
It's transforming customer service that's obvious. We know that the leader in the category is fit.
Let's start out with this.
This please.
It's one of the police shootings, Milwaukee. If you can hear, can you hear the audio?
Part of the 15-day rule, as Ashley mentioned there. I see how he explains
Okay.
why there's a waiting period at all. Mary, the police chief says they're going to follow their standard operating procedure, and that lays out the timeline here. The video must be released within 15 days. Again, within 15 days. So it could be released sooner. First, the policy is that the department will let the family of the person who was killed, Elijah Wilkes, see the video within 48 hours. For now, both sides have conflicting stories. People who knew Elijah Wilkes, and then there's the president of the Milwaukee Police Association. He says he visited the injured officer in the hospital. My officer was going to die. I saw him personally.
Say my officer was gonna die.
Injuries to his face. There was blood in his face. So my officer did what he was trained to do. He defended himself and then stopped the threat.
We did not pistol whip nobody. It all happened so fast. Whatever injuries that they had, it did not come from Elijah. They were already so many feet away from each other.
So as far as how is the officer doing right now, we're told by the union that he has been released from the hospital. Reporting live in Milwaukee, Jason Calvi.
So that's one incident, but this to put you up on that. This put you up on earlier. We was headed to the auction out Pennsylvania, and we were pulled over by the police officer, Westminster Police, and he pulling the car over and car legit, but my man, he got us driving. He got the VA game going on, so you know how they hard on the VA tags. So he sees my dealer tag sitting in my lap, and he was like, "Sir, can I get the dealer tag?" To run a dealer tag. I said, man, you can't get my motherfucking dealer tag to run the dealer tag. That's the fuck. Why are you even talking to me? I'm a passenger. Like, man, you
Yeah,
crazy or something, man. Like, man, what's wrong with
yeah,
you? You ain't read. No. And then when I got out the car, he was like, well, let us search. No, you're not searching me. My lawyer advised me that you can't search me without a warrant. You can't
right,
search me. I could search myself for you, though. I could take everything out of my pocket and lift my shirt up where you can see I ain't got no weapons. But you ain't touching me, man. You ain't
right.
fucking I ain't into that. I was telling my guys, man, I'm a grown man, bro. I'm not no boy. I said that's what happens when you get. That's what I'm saying. We was in the streets. We was scared. Oh yes, sir. This and that. Now when you a fucking grown man and you got your priorities
Right.
and your business straight, you tell them, hold up, Jack. I know my rights. I'm a passenger. If anything, I could open up this door and walk away because I ain't got nothing to do. I'm not driving the car. I don't have to show you my ID. I don't have to do none of that. And my lawyer advised me all this. You know what I mean? They got to talking that stuff, man. And ended up the car didn't get told because I'm a licensed dealer. We ended up
Right.
making it to the auction. We ended up doing what we had to do. And then they came back and started talking to me with respect because I say, man, they came disrespectful, man. You asked me for my stuff like I'm an idiot. Then I whipped out the camera. Matter of fact, you know what? You can get the tag. What's your tag number on your joint? What's your badge number? All right, now I got it on camera. This man just told me that I got to give him my tag while I was sitting in my hand for him to run. This is illegal. Him, man, came back and got himself together. Because I ain't
That's
had
what
no
I tried.
warrants.
Then I was like, can't. I said, hey, what the fuck? What's going on? So I
Yeah,
look.
yeah.
All right, but look, you had got education from some. How did you learn?
Man, I got the same A-lump. I got the same education that you got. Man, I never went to college. I never went to trade school. I never went to nothing. I got my GED in the joint. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in the Nation of Islam. And I'm a Sunni Muslim, man. Everything that I learned from pimps, smacks, dolphins, junkies, crackheads, and high school dropouts. That's where I got my knowledge from. That's what made me the creative thought and the way of thinking that I got. I learned from the pimps, the max, the drug dealers, the killers, the liars, the scammers, the thieves, bro. I ain't been nowhere else but right there to get all my knowledge. And that's I got out the streets and got myself together. I start, exploring new horizons and learning different things and learning about different cultures. But other than that, man, I got my shit from the heart of the hood where niggas like to bust heads and look good. And I wear that with pride. You know what I mean? I didn't have to go to Hartford to understand things. I come from the neighborhood and I give my people that they say that they hate and don't like, man, hey, man, I learned some of the best things and learned how to move for dudes that put that spike in their arm. Boy, I learned how to use my dingling the right way for having sex with crackheads. Like, well, let's talk about it. I got my knowledge from the hood. You know what I'm saying? For real. You know what I'm saying? I read a few books. I took a couple classes, some self-help groups, but overall, I learned from the disadvantaged minorities, bro. That's where I got all my knowledge from. You get what I'm saying? Real shit. Yeah, bro.
So tell me how you handle that pressure.
And pressure busts pipes. That's a known fact. That's the laws of of physics. So how I learned how to handle pressure is always being under pressure, bro. Like we can't. It's no remedy how to handle pressure unless you just a person that been under pressure. I done been dirty as hell and then got searched and then get locked up. You know what I'm saying? I done been
Yeah.
what I'm saying, sticky situations and got out of it, bro. It's just like you can. It's like saying, yo, Lump, what's the steps to being a real nigga? You'd be like, bro, I can't give you a step by step with that. It's got to be in you. Lump, how you stop being a lying nigga? I never been a lying motherfucker, so I can't, boy, shorty, lying ain't right. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, nah, man, under pressure is under pressure. Well, we've been under pressure our whole life coming from the urban community. You know what I'm saying? We learned how to deal with pressure before we even knew what it was because we seen
Right.
dudes that, oh no, I gotta handle that. Your heart better not be beating fast if you know you're doing something. You know what I'm saying? We come from the criminal university, so pressure, you know what I mean? You crack under pressure, you know it's over with.
Hey, can I give you a brief summary?
Yeah, go ahead. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, I know Riggs at. Yeah. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. 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 Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Mhm. Yeah, yeah, because you knew what that bit bot would have did for you. You better not crack. Any they ain't got it any scam anyway. I ain't gonna tell them I got it. I ain't telling them I got it at all, Jack. Hell yeah, man. I've been in so many situations in life, man, since a kid, man, that you just learn how to, like I always use this scenario. We played cops and robbers and hide and go seek. So we didn't even know that we was teaching each other. Like, if you was in the woods and dudes was walking by and you was camouflaging yourself under some leaves, you knew you couldn't breathe a certain type of way. You just knew you had to let them be. Somebody could be right there and not see you. You know what I'm saying? So that's what the streets help you adapt to. No, you ain't sidetrack me. No, that's what we go all this joy. So what you think about I said I put a few little things on here. So we gonna get into these shootings though first. So what I realized earlier when I was on YouTube earlier, I'm working earlier, and I said, "Damn!" I was trying to report on the police shooting out Dundalk, and I just typed in, police shootings, and I didn't realize in the course of the last week how many police shootings it's been around the world, like just in the United States. You know what I'm saying? Just inside the states, I'm like, "Damn, this shit just going down on police related shootings." There's a police related shooting in Miami right now. They got the suspect barricaded. The Dundalk shooting, the Milwaukee situation, like it's hella situations where police is getting down and dudes is getting down with the police. So I was telling them earlier, like, I get sometimes the going gets tough and the tough get going, but you might be on the run for something, and then you got a gun on you, and you choose to shoot out for the police. You made your situation way worse than what it is. You get them. So I don't care how much heart dudes claim they got or which McCon. You don't want no smoke on no with a weapon with the police. Now, plenty of dudes that got down and got to fighting police and get the regular assault charge. Sometimes niggas beat them, sometimes they get worked out. But pulling out a gun and saying, this is my last life. I'm here to tell you, bro, once you get stitched up and get healed up and you on that tier, you gonna wish you'd wish they'd took you with them. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what I'm
Yeah.
tripping off. Like, yo, what make you go that crazy that you think you gonna beat the police? They ain't even beat the police in Heat. Not even the movie theaters, they beating the police. You know what I'm saying? Not even in the movie theater, they coming out on top. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I was tripping off. Like, yo, how dudes' mentality getting so fucked up that you think you can go to war with the police for no solidified reason. Just because you're having a bad day with your girl, or you saying you got mental illness and you think you're gonna go at the cop and turn out on top. It's never happened. I never seen nobody go at the police department and come out on top. Not even Larry Davis. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, dudes, they got too many guns. They got put it like this. They got too many troops coming with too many guns. You not gonna have the whole hood fighting with you against the police department with weapons. It's never happened.
Right.
So let's get into some of these though. Please hit that notification button, that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment. Shooting a 16-year-old girl 3 times. That boy shot a 16-year-old girl 3. I don't mean to laugh, well, because I don't want to say they funny, but we convicts, so certain shit you just gotta laugh. For some of these niggas charges, man, I can't stop laughing, bro. Man accused of shooting a 16-year-old girl 3 times. Man, you
Six,
going to prison,
three
bro.
times. Somebody, 16-year-old girl 3 times. Hand.
Yeah, I'm
That's what
saying,
they
man,
saying.
like, yo, you going to prison. And she told on you. Like, that's what we just be like, yo, dude, be giving up, man. Man, shorty, you going to jail. What type of affair did you have with that 16-year-old girl that you shot her 3 times, homie? And that makes
Yeah.
what you ask. What you had going on with that 16-year-old girl that you shot her sometimes, bro? Like, you just woke up in the morning and just shot the girl. You get what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Like, man, I don't
Yeah, but the
understand
thing
this.
is, all right. Well, let me
What's
tell you.
good,
But the
Porch
thing
Prophet
is,
TV? What's up? Mega, shout out to Black Mega, man. Illuminati, that's my man Mega in there. He's
shout
one
out
of
to
the ones
everybody
that,
that's
he want to get into
yeah.
politics, but I just won't let him do it on my channel. That's a good friend
All
of
right.
mine.
Shout
He
out to
just,
everybody
yeah, he
that's
want to
doing.
go into what's going to happen in the year 2050, and then people clip his YouTube channel every chance they get. They tired of him.
All right. But Ham, when you speaking on that, but I'm trying to figure out the times has changed. Now he shot that girl 16 and she 3 times, but when he come in the system has changed that he's not going to get punished for real. Like if you do something to the youth or something else, when you go into jail, you get punished. But they protecting and putting them on certain status where they can't get touched.
Yeah, yeah, but if I'm trying to find it. Six man shoot 16-year-old girl. Hold up. Let's read into this. So much shit we
Yeah,
gonna get
let's read
into,
it.
huh? Man shoot
Because some
16-year-old
people
girl.
get falsely accused of doing shit and they could be innocent too, Ham. We know
Yeah, yeah,
we
yeah,
know
yeah, 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 yeah. But certain shit
because
these niggas
the
doing,
news
huh?
and the social media could paint you as a bad picture, like they doing to my man right now.
Who? Who?
I don't think we want to bring that up right now. Reggie Curl, how they paint a bad picture out of
Oh
him.
yeah, yeah. No, we can bring it up. Yeah, they bring the bad picture. They say he was. Yeah, they definitely paint. They definitely painting a bad picture of him with that. You know what I'm saying? That ain't no lie, but that's the problem though with dudes, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like for me and you who in this entertainment shit, you know the excuser, we ain't gonna use names, but you know them people hold a lot of money, and the thing is, when you play with people with a lot of money, it's a different level. So we as a city should have defended that. You know what I mean? I feel like bro wasn't honored because I'm a journalist, right? I'm a content creator and I watch a lot of YouTube. So I watch when the man gave him all types of credit just a few months ago, saying he was a dude that came along on the road and got ripped on the Shannon Sharp joint. Yeah, yeah, they were saying yo, what I mean. He was saying how he helped him out. Man, shoot, 16-year-old girl. I think it was in Chicago. No, it wasn't Chicago. Yeah, so that situation, when I heard about that situation, I feel like the vlogs didn't take to that like that. That was like an open and shut thing. And us, as content creators in Baltimore, I feel like we kind of like overlooked that. You know what I mean? Because you know what I mean? Because we should have reported on that. And I felt like, we ain't stand behind bro or even try to. Nobody really did the report what really happened to bro. So I feel like our city ain't do right with that. Yeah. hmm hmm Right. hmm Right. Right. Yeah. That was it happened in California, right? Okay.
It happened in Memphis, but it happened in Tennessee, and they trying to say
Uh-huh.
it happened in Cat Williams' property, but it wasn't under Cat Williams' name. It was under the one that slayed him. No, it didn't happen in California. It happened in Tennessee.
Okay. I asked you once. No, that might have been somebody in the comment. Oh, it's somebody in your comments. Oh, yeah. Dang. I seen it, right, bro. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I seen it, and I seen your pain. I'm gonna be honest with you. I seen your pain, and us as men and as humans, we got so much going on in our life. That's why I was like, yo, damn, yo, Reg, yo, like I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like I gotta do a tribute, get with my nephew, get with the editor, gotta just do some type of tribute because I felt like that's like a situation people heard about and it just wasn't, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't talked about, like, you know what I'm saying? Bro really laid it down for the comedian world. My homegirl Chi Chi, the comedian, shout out to her, shout out to Cleon, you get what I'm saying? Some of my little Riri, shout out to all the comedians coming up. You get what I'm saying? My man Trey, you know, girl, he funny. K Rock, all them dudes, man. You get what I'm saying? All them dudes, and he was like, bro was like a front runner. Reg was a front runner. You know what I'm saying? Reg was definitely a front runner. You know what I'm saying? In the business. You know what I mean? Shout out to Candy Cane, was good. He was definitely a front runner. And I just felt like, you know, maybe we should get together, man, and you know, do something, you know what I mean? After, you know, the family get, you know what I mean? I would like to, you know what I mean? You know, probably bring, you know, the family in the studio and talk about his legacy. You know what I mean? I'm really into that because, like you said, there's investigations going on. And murder is a tough thing to digest. And one thing about my platform, I ain't into that. I'm not Murder Inc. or Fox 45. I don't come to play with people losses. But I know that my platform is definitely a cheerhead to his legacy and tell us about some of the things that we didn't know as Baltimoreans, what that brother was doing and, you know, his trials and tribulations. I would like to, you know, celebrate his life and learn more about him. You get what I'm saying? So in my journey in life, when people ask about him, I know something. You know what I'm saying? Oh no, bro did this. He come from this. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I mean. He definitely is a legendary dude in our city. He's definitely on that Rushmore of comedians from Baltimore. And rest in peace to the brother Reggie.
He came back to reinvent himself, Ham, and then put people on. You
Right.
know, people on when thought he was washed up, and bam, he was putting the new generation on. Bam,
Right.
plugging them in. And then when they said he was washed up, then they seen that he wasn't washed up, and he went to the next level, the Dark Matter tour, the all the tours that he was doing with Cat Williams.
Yeah.
So yeah. So once he got plugged in, now they were like, "Oh shit, he on. He been on." But he
Yeah.
reinvented himself by coming back to town, starting at the low clubs, Comedy Factory, the improvs, all that shit. I was watching him how he was building his legacy back up and
Right.
putting us, the youth, on, Ham, to bring us as a whole so we could all go. Because nobody was representing in comedy for us. We had Monique. Monique, she didn't even represent for his passing. She gave him a 2-minute segment, like this speaking on. That's all I'm gonna say about that. 2-minute segment. I did a half an hour segment because I'm mourning. She was left. She knew this nigga for 30 years too, Ham. You feel me?
People more
So,
different though. You know, she did the 2 minutes. You know, we not gonna get on the tip of, you know what, you know what I'm saying. You know, I'm one of these people like, if
all
you
right.
know, say it was my good friend and it's like, yo, Michael, so and so gave him 2 minutes, I gave him 3 hours. You know, love is different. You know,
Okay.
love is different. You know what I'm saying? You gotta understand that the way that you love bro might not be the way that she love bro, but she still love bro. You get what I'm saying? That's just how it
Okay.
is. People love is different, but her acknowledging it is just enough to go a lifetime. That's respect right there. Whether it's for
Uh,
1 second or whether it's for 1 hour. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you, me, the young people in Baltimore, nobody had nothing to do with that. You understand what I'm saying? Man
yeah.
was far away from home, bro. You know what I'm saying? None of the fellow brothers and sisters was there to help them, to protect them. That's how life is. And you know, you a man, you know the dean, you know what I'm saying? From Allah we come, from Allah we go. So at the end of the day, it hurt because, like I said, I didn't give it much thought because I ain't think nothing about it. But now shit be coming out like, damn, yo, that shit was
Yeah.
tragic. Because I'm gonna just be honest with you, they made it seem like, from what I got out of it, because like I said, I didn't really get into my journalist bag with it, right? The way they made it seem like bro just went on a set trip and you can't, you know what I mean? I'm just saying the way the internet put it. Bro was tripping and acting
Yeah.
like he was going to do something to the bag. And you got to understand, no matter how we feel about that the other black man, there's all black men involved in this, But no matter we feel, that's the bag, that's the big boss. And I told you he was just on TV talking about how much Reggie was growing and how he been on the road with him, and you know what I'm saying. So and then it just what the fuck, you know what I'm saying? That's all it's like, damn, that happened. In the video they show, you know, they never show the whole video. They show clips of him looking like the oppressor.
Yeah. All right. So now you brought light to the Monique situation, and I understand because you gave me a different
Yeah,
perspective on it, and I gotta acknowledge that. And I need, I'm mourning different than she is,
yeah,
and I really was, and I just feel like everybody should be mourning like me, and I don't even understand because I'm
yeah,
like, yeah, I'm mad, I'm
yeah,
upset, hurting because he was representing us as a whole, as
yeah,
Baltimore as a
yeah,
whole. And
yeah. But one thing for sure, when dudes
yeah,
representing Baltimore as a whole and they on the road with these unfamiliar people and they get comfortable with these people thinking they made a bond and think it's all love. Me personally, man, for as much as I travel, much as I move around, bro, I still have that mentality of like a Ted mentality, like, bro, I ain't really getting too close with nobody, even in this business we is, bro. Like, you not from my city, I can't make a phone call to Lump and Lump know the chick that know his people, the other, you know what I'm saying? I can't do that with these people, so I have to keep a straight face and keep it business and control my emotions because in this business you're far away from home, you out of your comfort zone, so you gotta have a straight face and be dead motherfucker serious and don't play no games. All right, yo, you did some fuck shit to me. You got me. You know what I mean? I'm a man. I know that you. It's a poker game, and life gotta know when to. Okay, I know I ain't no bitch ass nigga, but let me drop my head. Let me get this money. Let me get away from this nigga. And when I catch this nigga without them people, I'ma slap all the shit out of him, and I ain't fucking with him no more. You get what I'm
yeah,
saying? So that's the
yeah.
mentality you gotta have. But when you don't control your emotions and you go off the meat rack and then you outnumber, it's always gonna end up fatal, bro. Always, and you far away from home. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got nobody scrapping up with you. It's only you versus 1, 2, 3. You get what I'm saying? And one
Let me
thing
ask
for
you this
sure.
question, man. Let me ask you
Yeah,
this question. Now, if he's a celebrity as well, right?
right,
Now, you on a tour with 5 different celebrities.
right.
How did if somebody's supposed to protect you as well as everybody? How you get slayed and nobody know nothing?
Because you're a celebrity and you on the road. No, let me break it down to you. Let me give
All
you a
right, go
lineup.
ahead.
Let me give you a lineup. Say Chris Brown, Michael Jackson, right? And R.
Mhm.
Kelly is all on the show. And then you got 4 singers that's on the show too. But one of the singers get the beefing with Michael Jackson. Now everybody is on tour because of Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson cutting this check. People gonna take their salary, bro, over honor every time, bro. Because at the end of the day, the number one thing you gonna hear is I got a family to take care of. That shit don't got nothing to do with me. He playing this man feeding me. That so with that being said, you ain't is it takes a real person to step up and say, yo, that shit fucked up. I don't care if you paying me too. How many real persons were you dealing with hundreds of thousands of dollars on the road? Money the root to all evil. So you saying now he was arguing with another one of them celebrities? It would have been ho 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 ho. But you arguing with the top, everybody looking up, and it's like, oh shit, I'm looking up. I'm beefing with it's no other person to beef with. I'm beefing with the man of the hour. People gonna run away from that because they still gonna want to be cool. And people still gonna want to get on them tours. Some people still gonna want to make money, bro. You know what I'm saying? Now he was there with you and a couple other men. Y'all ain't going for it because y'all really let a homie and y'all feel like this is injustice and we standing on this. But people that's
Yeah,
getting paid, they gonna tell you, I got kids in the family, bro. I don't got nothing to do with this. I just come to go to work. So it's like I can't even be mad at them because they ain't my friends. It's an industry, bro. It's an industry, and bro been around a long time to know how this shit work. This is an industry, bro. It's a business, and it's don't have no friends in it, bro. We're not supposed to trust anybody in our profession anyway, especially out of towns. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, bro, I ain't giving my trust to, people. You know what I'm saying? It's a business, especially when you go into something with somebody making money off of you or with you, bro. It's a money thing. There's no love and loyalty in that. Especially when if we could get out of order and guns are drawn, it's no love and loyalty right there.
All right. Now this. All right. So when we looking in from the outside, him,
Right,
when everybody bashing them, like they taking these little clips and then they bashing our man,
right,
saying this and that. All the blogs. It's this one blog. It was LA blog, and it was some. It was I just know it was key something. I don't want to say it correctly because I don't even want to say something, but
right.
they bashing him, whereas though they being disrespectful and all that to our people that they don't know about. For the so how we supposed to handle that as a whole when we looking at the social media, how they bashing our man that been slaved.
If you
How we
feel
supposed to
like
handle that?
if you feel like you want to get in the comment box and feed into it, that's rightfully your right. But at the
Uh-huh.
end of the day, the bloggers and the people that work the internet don't even know the man and don't know the situation. They just got unpopular opinions that's clickbait. When that happened to Reggie, that's big clickbait, just like we all do. Anything that happened to a celebrity that's big news and you get a clip on it, it's clickbait. You want to talk about it, what you want to talk about it to try to get your shit off of YouTube. So it's like, yo, all them people, like in situations like that, if you pay attention to the vlogs and the media, you're going to be fucked up because him being dead in the coffin is a real thing. The vlogs and the medias are only giving their opinion and paying for shit to talk about. So it's like, bro, I'm on it for real. So the last thing I'm thinking about is a bunch of fucking people across the country on the computer, man. Fuck you. I mean, you don't even know what's going on. So that's just one of them people, you know what I'm saying? That's how the internet keep going. That's how food getting on tables with, people talking about the story. That was a hot story. Everybody going to jump on it. And most people jump on it with their own opinion and making their content out of it. And then, from the videos, it was definitely content to be created about it. My day come, your day come. People gonna make content and assumptions about it. You know what I'm saying? It looks horrifying the way it happened. It looks crazy. Man, I'm just being honest. Being a Baltimorean and having that's your man and having just genuine love and respect for the comedian who he was and another brother from the city. I hate to see him go down, but if I had to go off the image that was portrayed on the internet, I'm a person that got a brain. So it's like, oh, everything that's on the internet ain't always true. And then people could take tapes and make them like it is. But if you just look at the internet, you say, what else would you expect to happen? You going at the bag, you going at a nigga aggressively, and and can't nobody let you hurt the man. That's the way it look. But we know it's more to the story because we humans and we just know it's more to the stories. And you know him personally, and you saying like, bro went off and did all that to no nigga that's feeding him, helping him get on his feet. So I'm telling you, I know him personally, so I know it had to be some more to it. You know what I mean? And that's gonna be the way of it for the next 20 years. It's gonna be the myth of it. The main person to know what happened is a law god, and everybody
So
gonna have their stories.
so Ham, that's this. We can't be crash dummies. We gotta be
Right,
strategic.
right.
Strategics. We gotta do things correctly because we gotta keep this memory alive and we gotta keep it going. They letting it die now and trying to sweep it under the rug, but we not because I need clarity. If not justice, I need clarity because I'm feeling a certain kind of way.
Yeah, bro. But one thing for sure, and two things
Yeah,
for certain. You could feel some type of way if it happened on Pulaski, if it happened in Mondawmin, if it happened at the Meyerhoff Symphony Hall.
yeah,
But how far you gonna go with an enemy that you don't know personally and it happened miles away? You know what I'm saying? It's just like some shit like you ain't gonna never the person that you want, the person that the internet is saying sent the blitz. Where we
yeah,
come from, that's who we want. What's your
yeah,
chances of hitting that target?
yeah.
it's slim to none. It's like us hitting $1 billion lottery. So it's like you
Yeah.
fighting an enemy that you can't touch. You get what I'm saying? If you fighting an
Yes.
enemy that you can't touch, it's just straight up. It hurts, and it's just the reality of it. It's out of our reach. It's out of our reach. It's out of our reach. And then years go by, all you can do is heal with it. It's out of our reach, bro. It's too much involved in that. And the number one thing that's involved in that is money. You get what I'm saying? Big
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
Big money. And it's like, yo, it didn't happen in our backyard, so we can't go around and be detectives and something that happened far fucking away. God knows what the people got connected and how they rocking down there and who they know. So it's like you go snooping around and you're gonna find what you looking for. Like I said again, all you could do is raise awareness of the goodness, you know what I'm saying? Getting some paper, petty ass podcast blowing up. You name it, Reggie Go comedy center. You know what I'm saying? It's just things like that the brother could live on. But the beef of the matter is, man, we see bro walking down the street, you gonna do something to him. But the chance of you doing that, it's seeing him is just impossible. So it's like, bro, I can't really keep going with this. You know what I mean? I can't think about it. I just know I don't fuck with him. I don't listen to his shit. I don't support him. I don't never want to hear nothing about him. He ain't welcome, and that shit gets no play in my ride. That's the far as you can go. But all you can do. But for him, he had kids and family, just his legacy. You get what I'm saying? Making his name brand, let him, let the world know that that man loved and appreciated what he was trying to do, and just keep it going.
Uh,
Anything else is just adding more fuel to the fire. And it's just sad to say, bro, it's one of those situations. If authorities don't get involved, it's like who you really retaliating on, people that you never gonna see. You know what I'm
you just
saying? You
drop,
fighting.
man. You just drop jewels on you. You drop jewels on the youth. You drop jewels on the old generation. You drop jewels on that want vengeance. You drop jewels on people that said there was no fly zone that I had to check. No, we're not doing that. I already know
Yeah.
how we gotta move. We gotta move. We gotta just keep his legacy alive and then
That's it.
and keep it going and putting our city on the map. And we're gonna continue on doing that. Goons talk. That's what I said. Giving our own narratives sincerely is goons talk. This
Yeah,
is what we do on the Petty Ass Podcast. We give it back to the youth. We give it
right.
back to the people that's coming home from prison to make sure they stand on the right and narrow path,
Yeah.
man. So
Yeah,
they won't
because yo,
go
that's
back.
that longevity. Like that's what I say. Like like I said, if it happened in our backyard, this is so true. Like if it happened in our backyard, bro, we like if it happened in DC, what happened in Virginia, you know what I mean? You could get there. We kind of like could send a line down. You get what I'm saying? We kind of
Yes,
like can get get the goddamn kite going. You know what I'm saying? It'd get around,
yes,
but that was so far. It's like yo, it ain't in our backyard. The homie came back in the bag. You get what I'm saying? The homie out there on the road, he came back in the bag, and we don't have no clue. This ain't a movie we live in. You know what I'm saying? That's what people be fucked up playing Call of Duty and watching movies. This ain't no movie we live in. You get what I'm saying? You playing with a dude, you know what I'm saying? That's at the top of the chain. You get what I'm saying? And that's the only thing I would say. But one thing for sure, when they say no flies on what? Flies on what? Man coming in with like a National Guard type of security, man, gonna jump on that stage now. People saying, oh, not buying tickets and not supporting that will just be the only thing that you could possibly do. But ever thinking you gonna get something off? Hell no. So, security is a big business out here, bro. And, and,
yes,
and, and and one thing for sure that we know that the motherfucking people that he paying to protect them, they shooting to kill. You know what I'm saying? So there ain't no joke toy in it. You know what I mean? And that man ain't gonna be nowhere to be seen. The bullet's going off, he gonna be in the air. Private jet going to take care of 20 some kids he got. That's it. That's why I say, bro, like just some shit. It just is what it is. It's fucked up, but that's just the way it go. We got a life to live. We got content to create. We got a dedicated day to the brother. Hopefully the man, some people in power, hope they can get the comedy factory named after them, get a day to do that shit like that. That could go on forever. Let them know we
right.
but it's just no different from a troop going to Vietnam, coming back home in a body bag, bro. It's all the stories of what happened. We don't know. We wasn't dead. Then we don't got no motherfucking kite down there to get it sent back up. Oh, this what happened. Yo, we got a line on. Yo, be with. Nah, it ain't like that, bro. It ain't like that. And like I said, yo, the way the internet perceived it in the way they got what they want to put out there, making bro look crazy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But rest in peace to Reg, man. I'm gonna get a poster in my wall. Get a poster, like I said, the show go on. So when the show go on, I feel like that's the best way it's just hard to explain, bro. I was thinking I had almost lost it the other day. I was sitting in my kitchen, man. I thought about my father, right? Hey, since my
Yeah.
father passed, I never went to my father's grave. Like nobody that ever passed away. The first time I visited the graveyard, bro, was like a few months ago. I went with my girl with her to take flowers to her father's grave. That's the first time I ever been back to a graveyard without a funeral. I never went to see my grandmother, my father, my brother. I just never went back, like, cause I just feel like, man, once you go there, that's just where that's a drop a body in the ground and keep it going. You know what I'm saying? I never went back. And I was sitting in the kitchen like, damn, bro, my father been dead since 2005, 20 years. It hit me like, damn, I miss my father. You know what I'm saying? I miss him. You know what I mean? I really miss my pops. Like, damn, bro. But I realized, like, damn, it took me 20 years to think about the shit. Hand in throughout the 20 years to think about it. And I'll be like, bro, I can't get caught on that. You know what I'm saying? Because I seen death drive people crazy. You feel what I'm saying? For real. I seen it, bro. I seen time and death drive people crazy. And that's the thing when I say, bro, I can't think about it. When I had my 14 years in prison, I never was stuck on that. You know what I'm saying? My grandmother, father, people die when you behind the door. I can't stay stuck on that because I've been seeing coffins since a kid. So it's like, man, that shit guaranteed to happen, man. So I can't dwell on that, and I can't be doubling down and go at a place that one day I got to be at. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Yeah. Man. And look, Ham, I know you took a I appreciate you putting this story and this tragedy on your platform, man. You
yeah.
had to, but I just look. I was giving you praise how you bringing up our youth. You putting all the rappers, everything on the platform, the up and coming rappers and everything.
That shit
The
come with
youth.
no
You got the
appreciation, though, huh?
huh?
That shit come with no appreciation.
Yeah.
You know,
What
you
I'm
can put
saying
in
is
work.
that
Yeah, I'm gonna say, go ahead.
let me give you a flowers,
Okay.
Ham, because I really, really, man, appreciate because you taking me into a different lane. You
Mhm.
just put perspective to how I need to carry things because I was on the fence.
Mhm.
But you be like, nigga, how the fuck you gonna what the
Yeah.
fuck could you do?
Yeah.
What really could you do?
Yeah.
But yeah, but you giving me all perspective.
Right.
But this is what we need as a community perspective to keep it straight, to keep everything going, so we could bring us up.
Yeah.
Because we was depending on her depending on Reggie to bring us up.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Now you gotta bring Reggie up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Bring him
saying?
up and yeah, we gotta do it. We
Yeah.
gotta keep on continuing.
That's legacy, bro. And when you think like that, you're gonna beat the race again because the bigger petty ass podcast get and the bigger the things that you doing get is the more that your man name get heard. So one day they got to hear that name. You get what I'm saying? That's gotta be the mission. Oh, y'all bitches pulled that one. Well, you gonna see that name and that face again. We don't know if it's gonna be in 2025 or 2035 or 2040. But you gonna hear that name, Reggie Gross, again, bro. And you gonna put some
Yeah,
respect on it. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
that's how I would look at things. Like, man, I ain't got time to be doing that because this is above me. If petty ass podcast, just say me and you both, we done took off, your shit took off, we getting hundreds of thousands of views, millions of views, we making money, then we is a different league now. Okay, we getting money now. Now we doing shows and you know what I mean? Now we getting around. So when you ain't in that tax bracket, bro, it's like, what am I doing? You know what I'm saying? But guess what? I know I'm gonna get up there. You know what I'm saying? It's like getting on the honor tier, coming in, being in the worst storm to getting
yeah.
on the honor tier. You just
Break it
like, I'm gonna
down,
get there.
Shorty. Break it down.
Yeah, right or wrong, though. That's like being in the trenches when you get on the honor tier. You like,
Yeah,
man, your man's and them telling you shit going on. You like, yo, I ain't even on that side of the joint. But I'm hollering my mind to get you a bit bop. But you heard about it when the
this
cool
open
police
door.
tell you.
Hey, this open door policy, shorty.
Yeah. Yeah. So nigga tell you what's going on. You hurt like, dang, your niggas beefing. Glad I'm on the honor tail, man. I ain't never going back down there, man. Niggas crazy, man. Hurt somebody. You know the saying, I'm to hurt somebody, man. I go back on one of regular tail. Before you know it, nigga, you going to minimum for the honor tail. Like that's just like in life. Like you can't keep playing, man. These niggas, some motherfuckers, man, going down in the blaze of glory, and some motherfuckers I noticed, bro, just be fighting battles that they just can't win because they just feel like they got something. I'll be like, bro, you can't do that, bro. You just can't do that, bro. You can't, I remember when I got in Hagerstown, right? Never forget this one, man. I was in Hagerstown about 2 years already. So I'm walking past and we come.
Hagerstown is 3 different joints in
The
Hagerstown.
old jail, MCIH. I was in MCIH. So I was in Castle Graveskull. So I'm in old jail, so I'm up there, man. I'm up there about 30 bucks now. Hagerstown straighten you out for real. So I'm straight, and I was I'm minding my business, shirt tucked in the sweatpants, books all in my arm, you know what I mean? Real clean cut. So I go to the thing, excuse me. So I'm standing at the grill, and an officer sitting right there. So I sit there for about 20 minutes. So I say, excuse me, officer, man, can you open the door? They said, man, you gonna stand there for 20 minutes and never push the door and see if it's open? I said, come on, man. If I'd have pushed the door open, then you said it was a breach of security. I'm standing right here for 20 minutes. You sitting right there chewing tobacco, and you couldn't just say, man, push the door, close it back. Like, well, come on, bro. So he job says some racist type shit. Man, I went to cell and cried and did the tray. Start shadow boxing. I said, when I get out, I'm coming back up here and I'm killing this old man. That's just what I told myself. I had that mentality, nigga. When I come back, as soon as I get out, I'm coming back up here. Man, by the time I was packing up to go to another location, man, I done forgot about that shit. You understand what I'm saying? That was the first mentality thought I think just in the spare of the moment. And then I thought about it. If you get a gun and come up in these crackers jail and try to shoot a fucking cop, you wanna die up this motherfucker, man. That man that did that shit. The man been up here 30 years working. He does that shit every day. I'm not gonna be up here with him 30 years. So you got that, man. It's your spot. And once I learned that that's them people's spot, it was easy sailing for me. Once I knew that I don't run nothing in this motherfucker, but what's in my property. Wherever I go at, they put certain shit in boxes. That's the only thing I got control of, man. I ain't got control of nothing these people got going on. So I wouldn't be mad on lockdowns. I don't be mad about the phone. I don't be mad about none of that shit because I ain't supposed to be in here. And that takes me to people say this shit all the time, and you guilty of saying this too. You say, man, now city crabs in the barrel. I had to tell a motherfucker one day, man, crabs ain't supposed to be in the barrel. So when y'all say that dumbass shit, crabs in the barrel, nigga, let 500 people get put in a fucking barrel and open the top. Let's see who helping each other get out. Motherfuckers climbing on top of each other to get out. Because you know why? Them crabs come out the sea, not out of barrel. You know what I'm saying? They come out the sea, not out the barrel. So the crabs in the barrel shit, nah, nigga. If I'm in a barrel with 100-some people, I'm not thinking about getting nobody out. I'm thinking about climbing on whoever the fuck I can climb on to get out of barrel. Because that's not what I'm supposed to be.
You know that's a fucking saying, shorty.
No, but that's the phoniest saying. I'm saying crabs don't belong in the barrel.
We the crab capital. Come
Yeah,
on.
but but listen, we didn't get them crabs when they got caught. They didn't get them crabs out the barrel. They got put in the barrel to be sold. So when you pop the barrel out, they all coming out. Just like prison.
Crabbing on the line with the chicken neck.
Shorty, when they pop that grill, ain't it's like crabs in the barrel in prison. When they pop that grill, ain't it's like crabs in the barrel to get to the phone, to get to the shower, to get the why? Because niggas don't belong locked in. You motherfucking right. You don't belong caged in. So when you get out that motherfucking cell, you because man, come on, man. So I can never the crab in the barrel thing never works for me. Crab in the barrel, man. No motherfucking crab in no motherfucking barrel, nigga. If I was in the barrel, nigga, I'm stepping on you to get out, Jack. You gotta step on me to get out. Only the last 10 crabs can help each other get out, bro. Because it's gonna be one left in there. Come on, bro. It's gonna be somebody left in there. How he gonna get out once we all got out the barrel? We gotta go get a screen for him. Somebody gonna get left in the barrel. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is, man. So what you think about this little Durk situation, man?
No, bring me look. Look, Ham. I'm a true fan of Lord Durk and King Von, yo. I'm not up to date with what's going on with Lord Durk, but I just know I'm a fan of his. I just know he's not he's not gonna get no fair trial. Period. Period. Because of his stature. He's not going to get no fair trial, and everything is stacked against him. He's a black man. Not just saying this race situation, but he's a black man, and he got people that's trying to take him down. That's black men.
Yeah, he
So
gonna get a fair trial though.
you think so?
Yeah, because you know them type of guys, Dirt, R. Kelly, Diddy, and all these niggas, they get a fair trial because it's a media blitz, and you know too many people in the courtroom that can hear the wrong thing, and they're gonna spread it like wildfires throughout the internet, and that leaves big room for appeals. So when you put those type of cases in front of you, you know the prosecutors got to be on their A game because any bullshit, you got too many pens in there writing down any mistakes. You get what I'm saying? These dudes are not going to court with Stanley Needleman and Rosenberg. These dudes going to court with dudes that want $4 and $5 million. They going to court with dream teams that come. These are dudes that go on attorney visits 7 days a week. You understand what I'm saying? These are dudes that's on 3, 4,
Hold
five
up,
hour
Ham,
attorney visits.
Ham, Ham. You got a $1 billion nigga that got 4 years. He got billions.
Yeah.
This nigga he's black. He got 4 years. You think that's a slap on the face to
No,
a
I think
billion
the
dollar
four
nigga?
years for Puffy, I think the 4 years was fucked up because he got acquitted of the bigger charges.
All right,
But
all right.
if he would have got an unfair trial, they would have found him guilty of all those charges and we'd have seen him get crucified. But
That's,
his lawyers proved beyond a reasonable doubt that a lot of that shit was false. But now the black man card come into play. Who fucking gets 4 years in prison for buying some pussy or doing whatever he did? The Mann Act. And the Mann Act was created so black men wouldn't deal with white women. So they made a law for that shit. Diddy, like they said, they're going to appeal his sentence because the judge was more talking about the shit that he didn't get convicted of more than the shit he got convicted of. He got 50 months, which we thought is cruel and unusual punishment. But hey, little Durk, the same situation. Durk got murders, big murders from Chicago to Atlanta to California.
uh-huh.
Durk's a known gang member that been on the FBI radar since he was probably 18, 19 years old. Durk crew is allegedly to do a lot of shit and then rap about it. You know what I'm saying? The
Yeah.
Chicago drill scene's been a problem. Durk kept a lot of dudes around him. Durk, you know, got in a lot of shit. Do I feel like they got a slam concrete case on Durk? No. But the Durk shit, Durk's young, 32, 33 years old, and he's a popular rapper. And I don't know, man. Like, I just don't know with this shit, bro. Like, you seen
Uh,
Ryan F. and Melly, he been locked
can,
up forever. This shit just so celebrity. You don't know them boys making millions of dollars. You don't know if they say Illuminati's a real thing and people with money and do all this shit, bro. Like,
can I
money
chime
make
in?
the
Can I
world
chime
go
in
round.
there?
Go
Chan,
ahead.
can I chime in? Because you
Go ahead.
talking about my man. I'm a fan of this. Look,
I
Dirk.
love
This
that
when I
man.
come
Nigga, he
home.
on my wall.
All right, look.
Oh, let me
Let me
show you.
tell. Can I tell you what's
Oh,
on my playlist when I came home? Hey, can I tell you who was on my playlist when I came home?
I'm saying, I'm a fan too. My little man on my wall.
Yeah,
Yo, I'm telling you, man, I'm a fan of them OTF boys, man. There you
yeah.
go. They on the wall, man. I'm a fan of them people. I'm a fan of them people, man.
All right,
I'm a
all right.
fan of
Hey,
them
hey,
people.
what I'm saying, we know when we feel music and we feel it in our soul, we feel niggas that's in our struggle. We feel niggas that's in our struggle. That's what I'm saying. When I asked you about put me on with that shit that you was listening to the earlier, I said put me on to I need to get. But look, let me say this about Durk's situation. My nigga, um, when I said he's not going to get a fair trial, I'm saying that because where he come from. You put it to everything. You say he's a gang affiliated, he's all that, he's from Chicago and all that. All that plays they're coming into play. Whereas though they're gonna turn the blind eye and they're gonna smash him. I hope that he doesn't because I'm a fan. I want to see more music. I want to see more music. I want to see what he going through, how he going through it, how he come out of it, and how I want to see how he going to say niggas left him and they left him stranded. The people that's supposed to ride with him, they kick up that fucking money. They do every fucking thing they supposed to do for our black man. Damn. Damn. Fuck.
You know what I mean? My bad. Y'all can hear me now? Dirt, stayed affiliated with the trenches so long that it shit cost them, bro. It costs you, bro. It's sad, but it is what it is. But keeping it real could blather you. You know what I'm saying? Keeping it real could exhaust you. Keeping it real could fuck the rest of your life up. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, when you keep it real and go hard like that, you gotta deal with it. But that's just really that on that, though, man. That's just how I feel. Like, Durk was real, real nigga. He was getting money. He tried to bring his guys with him. They was still beefing in the streets. Things had to get handled. But I guess there was nobody around to say enough is enough. Like, bro, you got bro. You gotta separate yourself from this shit, bro. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, and that is levels to this shit too, bro. Like, you can't make it to the top and bring everybody. I be telling people that, like, bro, every room not meant for everybody. I can't bring you in every room. You get what I'm saying? Your girl can't go in every room. Certain niggas can't go in every room. It just can't happen, bro. Like, you gotta handle business, and you gotta handle business on the elite level. You know what I'm saying? That's just the truth, bro. And bro caught up in that situation, bro. And I feel bad for him. I really do. I feel bad for him. I really do, bro. Man, so many vlog trenches news, he can't get a kick out of it. He think Little Durk, he got an inside scoop thinking like Little Durk. I listen to trenches news and I play clips from trenches news twice because he be hitting on it, but it seems like he want Durk in jail more than anything. Like, you know what I mean? I understand dudes reporting where they gotta go. Drake Energy lawsuit drop. The internet is insane. Slime life. Lil Dirt Fast says all the O Block OTF members killed. Damn, 5 shocking updates in Lil Dirt case. Let's hear this. There's 5 shocking updates in Lil Dirt case. Let's listen to this.
Case just hit a whole new level of chaos. So authorities are now requesting an anonymous jury after alleged threats against a judge and prosecutor. Prosecutors say the rapper tried to destroy an Apple Watch in jail to cover his tracks, and he's now being accused of allegedly taking out hits on his own O-Block associates.
Hey.
With his trial currently set for January, the stakes couldn't be higher. We are going to break down all the latest updates in this case with a former federal prosecutor. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. All right, the Little Durk case just took another wild turn, maybe series of turns is the best way to explain it. So federal prosecutors are now saying that the Chicago rapper, ordered hits on his own O-Block associates for failing to retaliate after the death of a fellow artist, King Von. They are pushing for an anonymous jury, claiming that threats have already been made against both the judge and a prosecutor. And you add in the fact that Durk was allegedly caught with an Apple Watch in jail and tried to destroy it. So this case is now spiraling, right? What is going on here? How do we break it down? How did we get here? We're going to rewind for a second before we break down the new updates. So Lil Durk, whose real name is Derrick Banks, is still being held in federal detention in Los Angeles following his October 2024 arrest. Prosecutors claim that Durk orchestrated a murder-for-hire plot back in 2022, sending members of his crew from Chicago to LA to target rapper Quando Rondo. That this was a form of retaliation, they say, for the 2020 killing of Durk's close friend, King Von. In the shooting that followed, though, Quando wasn't the one who died. It was actually his cousin, Savia Robinson, who was killed in what prosecutors are calling this ambush-style attack at a gas station. Now, Durk isn't accused of pulling the trigger himself. He is accused of ordering the hit, allegedly funding it and directing it. That is what landed him a stack of federal charges, including conspiracy, firearm offenses, murder for hire resulting in death. His defense has been very aggressive, though. One of the biggest moments in this case came earlier this year when Lil Durk's legal team filed a motion to dismiss the federal indictment entirely, or at the very least, force prosecutors to turn over the grand jury materials that led to the indictment. Remember, grand jury materials are usually secret. But in that filing, Durk's attorneys argued that prosecutors misled the grand jury by presenting false and misleading evidence. Specifically, they mentioned one of Durk's songs, Wonderful Wayne and Jackie Boy, which they claim was wrongly used to connect him to the 2022 murder for hire plot. The thing is, the argument they make, he had actually written the lyrics that prosecutors were citing months before the killing. The defense wrote in that filing, the only open question is how such patently false information came to be within the grand jury's purview to begin with. One answer is that the prosecutors who prepared and presented the government's evidence knew that the evidence was false. Another is that the prosecutor who presented the evidence did not know it to be false, but the witness who conveyed it did. And the third answer is that the evidence was obtained and presented with reckless disregard for patent falsity. And really, the big picture here is that Durk's team is bringing up a really important argument early on, that rap lyrics shouldn't be used as evidence of violence. This is a common theme we've talked about in a lot of trials, right? Federal prosecutors, they ended up filing a new superseding, amended indictment, deleted the contested lyrics, brought an end to that motion, to that issue. Now we've got to talk about what's happening today. All right, I know this is a 180, but I've got to tell you about this new sponsor we have on Sidebar.
Ooh, my man Durky, yo. You know what I mean? Yo. That's why I like to get into Sidebar, to get in this, man. Hey, hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment. Leave a comment, bro. Leave a comment. Leave a comment, man. Come on, man. Y'all tapped in with me. Leave a comment. Leave a comment. The comments be in it. They definitely engage with my channel. Yeah, leave a comment. Leave a comment, y'all. Leave a comment.
Where we left off. Things have escalated. We got a lot of developments to talk about. I want to bring on friend of the show, former federal prosecutor Nima Rahmani. Nima, thank you so much for taking the time. Always love having you on here. Okay, let's start here from big picture of the case. How common is it for someone to face federal charges for ordering a hit, ordering an assassination, right? Even if they didn't pull the trigger themselves. Is it common?
Jesse, always good being on. It's usually not common. Usually they'll throw that in with the actual murder or some sort of RICO charge. But here, the feds apparently believe that little Durk is the one who's the shot caller, even though he's not pulling the trigger. We do see these murder for hire cases stateside more, but the feds are really interested in this case for some reason, maybe because of who little Durk is.
Do you think that there's strong evidence that he directed this in some way, was funding it in some way, was the mastermind behind it in some way?
I think there's evidence. Is it a lock? Not necessarily. A lot of these federal cases, as you know, by the time they go to the grand jury and get an indictment, Jesse, it's a done deal, right? I mean, it's just a matter of whether they're going to plead and be convicted at trial. But here, it's a little bit more attenuated. Obviously, we'll see what evidence comes out. Look, you're relying on cooperator testimony. You and I have talked about it a lot, right? Those are people that are often criminals. You got to corroborate that. Now, they have text messages, but some of them are pretty cryptic. And, to the extent that Little Durk's credit card was used for ski masks, hotels, and so forth, that's certainly enough. But for the conspiracy, for the solicitation, usually means something more than, just some credit card charges.
And it leads into something the defense is doing, where they're challenging this indictment. My understanding is saying it's impermissibly vague. What does that mean to you? Is that a common defense? Does it usually work?
Jesse, it's not a common defense at all. And usually it doesn't work because really the remedy is for the prosecution to cure and be more specific in the indictment. When you're talking about a conspiracy, when you're talking about solicitation, you really need to identify those overt acts and furtherance of the conspiracy, the evidence of the solicitation for the murder for hire. And in this particular case, I think the defense's theory really is the best defense is a good offense. They're trying to file these motions, not because they necessarily think the indictment's actually going to be dismissed, but to put the prosecution on its heels a bit.
And the pendulum swinging, right? Because now let's talk about what the feds are doing. This is the new allegations. This is what I wanted to bring you on for. So the feds have allegedly quietly introduced this new explosive claim into Durk's legal case that he didn't just order a hit on Quando Rondo, that he also put out hits on members of his own O-Block crew, who apparently failed to retaliate after King Von's 2020 death. This was a friend of his. That's according to reporting from Hot New Hip Hop, The Source. According to those reports, federal prosecutors, they plan to present testimony from a witness who claims that Durk personally gave those orders to O-Block associates. Now, this new theory, it frames this case even more broadly. So not just a revenge plot, but kind of like this possible internal purge, an effort to maintain control, demand loyalty, punish dissent within his own inner circle. Now, that being said, none of these additional claims have yet led to new formal charges against him. But Nima, let's talk about it. Can you explain what it means legally if prosecutors allege that Durk ordered hits on his own associates, even if no new charges have been filed as of yet?
Well, Jesse, there's a couple reasons why you want to do this. Sometimes the feds will pile on to try to gain leverage and to force some sort of plea. But in this particular case, it's probably to try to dirty him up. If you remember, the 80s movies where the villain turns on his own crew, really, that's something that jurors are not going to like. Now, look, I'm not saying this is substantiated, but it may be part of the bigger story here. This wasn't just a hit on Rondo, right? With Robinson being the innocent target. This was, like you said, a purge. Durk was upset because his own crew didn't avenge the Vaughn death. So he wanted to kill even members of his own inner circle. Again, not saying that the prosecution can prove it, but if they can, I don't think jurors are going to like little Durk at all.
By the way, just to be clear, Rondo has not been, charged or connected to the death of Vaughn, but it is interesting what this theory is. I do want to make it clear that what is coming out right now is prosecutors seem to say they plan to present witness testimony that Durk gave these orders. If that's the case, how credible are they, especially if they're testifying in this trial in federal court?
Yeah, I'm kind of shaking my head. And this is me personally, Jesse, and like I prosecuted, cartels, organized crime. I really don't like to rely exclusively on the testimony of cooperators, right? Look, they're always going to get torn up on cross-examination that they have an axe to grind, they're disgruntled, they're lying to save themselves. It's fine if you have corroborating testimony, right? So maybe they have text messages again. The messages seem a little bit cryptic to me. So you got to be really careful when you're just relying on cooperator testimony. You got to buttress it with something more. And the last thing you want to do in these types of cases, and we've seen them, like YSL, when you overcharge, it adds confusion, the case drags out, and you end up getting nothing as well. So hopefully the prosecution is going to bring some evidence here to substantiate what they're alleging.
If they don't add new charges, and I'll talk about what those could be in a second, if they don't add new charges, this could be part of the case, though? This technically could be part of the overall case against Durk, the federal case, what he's currently facing?
It could, right? It could be the 404B, right? Part of the motive, the plan, so that could
Sentencing maybe?
Sentencing, of course, we know all of that relevant conduct comes in, right? We saw that in the Diddy case. So I think a judge would allow it in because it is relevant to this scheme. Again, the defense has to be provided notice, obviously any discovery related to it, but it's going to come in. Look, at the end of the day, you're talking about a federal murder for hire case, right? It could carry it. We know it carries a potential life sentence, but even a potential death sentence. Now, obviously, the feds haven't filed notice of intent to seek the death penalty. So it's not going to add anything in terms of the potential exposure, but it can certainly bring more bad facts in the case if they're substantiated.
And support their case. Okay, let's say they decide to bring new charges with respect to this. Is that something you expect to see? And what could those charges be?
It'd probably be, conspiracy or attempted murder, right? And, we're talking about a January trial date, so it's pretty late in the game. I don't know if the judge would allow it. If the judge did, the defense may ask for a continuance, and I think the judge should probably grant it, right? If you're adding additional counts 3 months before your trial, probably a little bit late, in my opinion, to keep that trial date. Again, obviously, it's the defendant's right to a speedy trial. If Durk's team wants to keep that date, they'll move forward, but it may be a reason to kick this out.
But not a different trial, not a different case, not a separate case. Like they wouldn't bring a separate indictment, had nothing to do with Quando Rondo, separate indictment regarding him allegedly taking out hits on his own people. That's not something you expect.
No, not at all. It would be part
Okay.
of the same case.
Okay. Now I want to talk about something else. I want to talk about the second motion to dismiss by the defense. So on October 6th, Lil Durk's legal team filed a second motion to dismiss the federal indictment. And they argued once again that the case against him is too vague to be fair. So per reporting from Hot New Hip Hop, Durk's attorney, Drew Findling, lays out the problem. That while the indictment claims that co-conspirators carried out acts at the direction of Durk, flying on LA, tracking and stalking Quando Rondo, attempting to kill him by gunfire, procuring firearms and other equipment, that it fails to provide specifics about what Durk himself allegedly did or said. As Findling writes, while the indictment alleges that the co-conspirators carried out various acts at the direction of Mr. Banks, flying to Los Angeles, tracking, stalking, and attempting to kill TB by gunfire, this is Quando Rondo, and procuring the firearms and equipment used to do so, it fails to give any specifics. When, where, how, and to whom did Mr. Banks give these alleged directions? To ensure the basic fairness of this trial, the defense is entitled to know. He adds, what the indictment fails to tell us are the very things that the defense is entitled to know, the operative facts underlying the government's theories of Mr. Banks' guilt.
So if you just tapped in right now, bro, this is what they saying. The new 5 things is, on the Durk case. So Durk, the lawyer, and them filed some explosive shit, and now the feds come back with some explosive shit, and Staffa start trial in January. Please hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment. I'm saying I'm just listening to this with y'all. I am listening to this with y'all. So I'm just telling y'all right now, I'm just getting to this, bro. So I'm just like, hold up, wait a minute. And it's just like, it's deep. And like I said, it's just almost mid-October. Man, Durk turn. It's Durk turn, meaning that we watch the Diddy, we watch all these trials, watch everything go on. The top of the year is Mustafa turn. And I hope the brother make out. You know what I mean? I hope, a lot of these allegations are false, and I hope Durk get a chance because I believe that Durk's gonna make a difference when he get out. But you gotta know, bro, when you're in the streets, your past can destroy your future. Never ever forget that. Your past can fucking destroy your future, bro. And that it hurts to say that because a lot of brothers and sisters are falling victim to that, bro. Their past destroys their future, man. Let's get back into this.
There's no allegation here that Mr. Banks physically participated in the stalking and shooting at issue. And Durk's legal team has also called the indictment, as we mentioned, impermissibly vague, demanding clarification on the government's allegations. Quote, it leaves the defense to guess as to the government's theory of guilt, and it leaves the government free to change that theory as its cooperators' stories morph over time to meet the demands of a conviction. Nima, do they have a point? How much do prosecutors actually need to lay out for the defense? This is, again, you mentioned Diddy. Big part that was litigated leading up to his trial. How much would they be made aware of what the theory of the case was, what the evidence was going to be presented? How much do prosecutors legally need to lay out and tell the defense?
Yeah, it's a due process issue. So the defense has to be given enough information to be put on notice of the nature of the allegations. But as far as, dates and times and specific statements, look, the indictment's not evidence, right? That's all witness testimony that's going to come out at trial. So I think the prosecution, as long as they can allege the unlawful agreement, the overt act and furtherance of the conspiracy, and generally lay out the actions of the co-conspirators, I think that's enough, and I don't think the judge is going to dismiss based on vagueness.
that idea of, hey, they could just change their theory. They can change it as cooperator stories change. That's not going to persuade a judge. You don't think?
Well, that goes, in my opinion, that goes to the weight of the evidence, not the admissibility, right? So you're not going to get a new indictment, right? You can cross-examine folks if they change their story, right? And again, none of this is evidence. Even if they put a specific statement in that indictment and the witness were to testify to something different, the witness's testimony controls, right? You can cross-examine on anything, right? You can allege that, well, didn't you previously tell law enforcement or prosecutors that it was on such and such date? Now you're telling us it's on a different date. I mean, that's fertile grounds for cross in any case. But I don't think it's grounds to dismiss the indictment. That's a pretty extraordinary remedy.
Well, a hearing on this new motion is scheduled for November 18th, so we'll keep a careful eye out on that. But I do want to move on to something that is very troubling, okay? Alleged threats against prosecutors and judges and request for an anonymous jury. Let's talk about this. So authorities reporting that supporters of this rapper have issued multiple threats targeting key figures in the case. According to an FBI report that was filed in the Central District of California, fans of Lil Durk have allegedly vowed physical harm and gun violence and even arson if the Chicago rapper is convicted. The threats have included 4 voicemails that were apparently left on a U.S. magistrate judge's phone. One message reportedly stating, "If they get life, I'm going to burn this mother bleeper down." They,
Right.
Will Durk, and one of his co-defendants, DeAndre Wilson. Now, the alleged intimidation extended apparently to the prosecution team as well. Assistant U.S. Attorney Ian Yaniello, one of the lead prosecutors, reportedly received a call from an unidentified male who warned, "Free Durk or be shot." Now, citing these incidents, the government has requested an anonymous jury. Writing in court filings, defendant supporters have already attempted to intimidate individuals connected to this case. Nima, I have a few points about this. First of all, have you seen something like this before? If it's true, have you experienced something like this before? How common is it?
Look, I got threats when I was a federal prosecutor. It's part of the job, Jesse. I mean, if you're going after the bad guys, they're going to make threats. Now, a lot of these threats are not substantiated. And look, it's easy for me to say, now that I'm out of the Department of Justice, to say it's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. But if you're a judge, if you're a prosecutor, this is what you sign up for. So I'm sure it's not fun to get threats from fans or the defendant or his family, but this is not unexpected. And I got threats all the time when I was a prosecutor.
The idea of this justifying an anonymous jury. And A, what is an anonymous jury? Don't we always have anonymous juries? Don't we not know the identities of these people? So what does it mean to have an anonymous jury, and would this justify it?
So on Law and Crime, obviously, when we televise the trials, they never show the jurors, right? But the lawyers, they know the identity of the jurors, right? That way they can do their research on social media, see what their political affiliations are, if they've said anything about the case. Truly anonymous jury, that information is even withheld from the lawyers. Again, not very common. It's really, we're talking about different extraordinary remedies, pretty extraordinary. Obviously, the judge in these types of cases has a lot of discretion on how to handle the jury. I would be surprised if we get an anonymous jury based on some, voicemails and that type of thing. Look, this is social media. I'm sure there are folks who are watching, they love being you, Jesse, but people say all sorts of crazy things. So I don't think it's enough to get an anonymous jury just yet.
Would they be in a separate room if that were the case? Like, do they hear the case? They hear the trial from a separate room on a camera or something? I mean, how would the defendant or everyone else not know who they are?
Yeah, I mean that's a possibility. We've seen that sometimes they'll have 2 juries for for different issues in the case. One will be in another room. It's possible, but again, like if you're the jury, think about it. I mean, you need to assess the witnesses and their credibility. You need to look at them eye to eye. So it really becomes problematic when you start doing things like this. Again, I would be very surprised based on what we've heard, some voicemails, if we do get an anonymous jury.
Okay, I want to now move on to the Apple Watch situation. Now, this is another dramatic twist in this Lil Durk saga. So prosecutors, they revealed in a filing from October 6th that the rapper was allegedly caught with an Apple Watch in jail. Now, this is a device with cellular capabilities, and that he allegedly tried to destroy it once it was discovered. The motion that was filed in support of a request for that anonymous jury reads, in late August 2025, BOP officials seized an Apple Watch with cellular capability from defendant. Even more troubling is Banks' conduct after he was caught. Rather than accept responsibility for this violation, defendant allegedly obstructed the investigation, attempting to damage and or destroy the communications device. And authorities point out that this wasn't an isolated incident. That Durk was accused last December of making unregulated three-way phone calls from the Metropolitan Detention Center, the MDC in Los Angeles, where he's currently jailed. So these repeated alleged violations are being used to argue that there's a real risk of witness tampering in this case, especially given, quote, the expansive reach of Durk's Only the Family or OTF network. Nima, how serious is this allegation here? Do they know, or they're alleging that he tried to destroy it? Let's start there and we'll talk about whether that justifies taking some action.
So it's serious, but it's not uncommon. We talked about this with Eric and Lau Menendez, right? And this is one of the reasons they weren't granted parole. You can't have a cell phone in prison. Doesn't matter whether it's state or federal, right? So an Apple Watch qualifies for that. Is it a violation? Yes. Is it grounds for something serious in terms of the remedy in the case, like an anonymous jury? No, Jesse, it's just something that happens and it's dealt with by BOP and other prison officials and they deal with it. Shouldn't really affect the case unless they charge, obstruction or something related to witness tampering.
And again, does it justify an anonymous jury? Does it justify adding added protection to witnesses in this case?
I don't think so, Jesse. You're talking about something that, again, even though it's a violation, it's not uncommon. The three-way calls, we talked about that in the Diddy case, right? That was something that he was doing as well. So, look, it's wrong. It's not right. But again, to completely change how we handle the criminal prosecution in this case doesn't make sense to me. Should just proceed as normal.
So Lil Durk remains in federal custody in LA. His trial is expected to begin in January of 2026. We will see if it stays that way given all these developments. But Nima Rahmani, what a treasure. What a gem. We love having him on. Thank you so much for taking the time. Really appreciate it.
Love being on, Jesse. I'm sure we'll talk about this case real soon.
And that is all we have for you right now here.
Yeah, that's it, bro. Like all that new shit they got on Durk. But like I said, shit look bad before it get better. You know what I'm saying? Like it gonna bring all the smoking guns out. A public perception. These the games is paid. Trial not too long from now. Durk know what's up, bro. You know what I'm saying? This ready to be a real fight, and he gotta prove beyond a reasonable doubt he had nothing to do with this shit. And like I said, prosecutors and the feds and the states and all these court systems, they are human. They are human and they come to do their homework, and you just gotta have your legal defense team like, yo, y'all gotta do your homework. And I think, maybe a plea deal might go on the table. You never know. They might strike a plea with Durk and Durk don't gotta do that. You know what I'm saying? That might just be it for Durk. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna say Durk won't be gunny. I don't believe that, but I don't believe they're gonna find Durk guilty on all that shit. I really don't. I really don't. I don't believe they're gonna find Durk guilty on all that shit. It just don't make sense. It just don't make sense. It don't make no sense, like at all. If bro get on that tip, you know what I'm saying? It ain't right. It is what it is though. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yo, this was tough, bro. You know what I mean? Hold up, bro. Dang. Oh shit. I get stuck on the phone sometimes. I get stuck sometimes. I get stuck sometimes in the phone, y'all, but it's my life. So that's what we hitting on with the little Durk situation. So what's next with Derrick Grove? The Louisiana inmate that escaped, they just called him. Dang, bro. You know what I mean? Once he get extradited, bro, he gotta go back to Louisiana. Then once he get to Louisiana, they send him straight to Angola. But 150 days of being free when you got a life sentence, bro, is fucking amazing. I'm just gonna keep it real with you, man. Hey, I gotta tilt my hat to the boy. You know what I mean? He ain't hurt nobody. He ain't hurt nobody when he escaped. He ain't hurt nobody when he got caught. Boy, he had a free 150 days. I can't even be mad at the guy. You mad at the guy? You mad at somebody that got about that joy? But I used to tell dudes all the time, boy, you got all that time in this motherfucker, man. I've been planning my escape for the day I got sentenced, Jack. I don't know. I don't know what a nigga think about that. You got a life sentence, bro. Hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment. We in the building. What the hell? He drove from New York to Georgia to buy guns, but the feds were already waiting. Dang. Damn. Oh, that was carjacking in Baltimore.
It's just where preparation meets opportunity.
I hate commercial. I'll tell you.
A woman is carjacked in the heart of Baltimore, and now federal agents have joined the search for one of the suspects. Here's Alexa Ashwell with Maryland's Most Wanted.
Dang.
Investigators say Keon Ellis was one of two suspects who carjacked a woman in Baltimore earlier this year. But court records show he, in fact, has 3 open warrants for his arrest. Now, the U.S. Marshals Service is asking for your help tracking him down. January 10th, 2025. It's a Friday evening in Baltimore, just blocks away from the Inner Harbor, the heart of the city. Investigators say a woman is returning home in her car, unaware she would soon be the victim of a violent crime. Investigators say as the woman was parking her car, she was approached by 2 suspects. One, they say, grabbed her from behind, the other by her neck. Investigators say the suspects demanded money and then her keys, throwing her to the ground as they drove off in her car.
Dang.
Wearing a white scarf around her face and black clothes. I sure you have that there with her.
Officers respond. In court documents, investigators say the woman led officers to a car she says she saw the suspect standing by on a neighboring street just before carjacking her. Here, investigators detailed that car had its left rear window busted out, and the owner gave officers a phone, set of keys, and bag of tobacco he says he found inside his vandalized vehicle.
Officers seized those items. He didn't need to canvass the area.
Another break in the case when investigators say officers were able to obtain camera footage that captured the suspects first breaking into the man's car, then approaching and carjacking the woman. The officers armed with witness statements, surveillance footage, and now forensic evidence.
Not only did officers obtain a search warrant for the cell phone, but they also submitted for DNA testing.
The cell phone, investigators say, belonging to Keon Ellis. And DNA results from the phone also coming back to the 20-year-old.
Investigators say that Ellis also matched the description of one of the suspects in the video footage.
A check into Ellis's background revealed he was on probation at the time of the carjacking for another armed carjacking that occurred in Baltimore County back in 2023 when he was 18 years old. Court documents for that case detailed Ellis was one of several suspects who carjacked a Grubhub driver at gunpoint and knife point as he was making a delivery. Here, investigators detailing Ellis was later arrested in the stolen vehicle.
Ellis was later convicted of carjacking.
Records show Ellis was sentenced to 10 years in prison with all but a year and a half suspended, followed by 3 years probation. Records show he violated that probation more than once and has since been connected to other crimes. In May 2025, a warrant was issued for Ellis's arrest for a misdemeanor assault in Baltimore City. And after obtaining the results of forensic testing, in July 2025, a warrant was also issued for Ellis's arrest for the carjacking of the woman back in January. Ellis now with 3 open warrants for his arrest in 2 jurisdictions. The U.S. Marshals Service now joining the search.
Keon Ellis is currently wanted in multiple jurisdictions. He's had multiple run-ins with the law and a well-documented history of non-compliance while on supervised release. Anytime you have a fugitive who has a history of violent tendencies and is known to target people at random, there's always an extreme risk to public safety. For those reasons, we're turning to the viewers Morales was wanted to help locate this individual and safely take him off the streets.
Investigators believe Ellis.
That's why I never show pictures on my channel. I ain't one of them.
Look, he's described as standing at about 5'8" and weighing approximately 136
Shorty
pounds.
wants with that blow.
Investigators warn he is known to have violent tendencies. If you have any information regarding his whereabouts, you're asked to contact the U.S. Marshal Service. The number right here, 202.
That's why they ain't label him armed and dangerous. That boy getting high. Shorty getting high. It's fucked up to say when you gotta say that about your people, but he get high, bro. He get high. He get high. Real shit. Man, I don't do that shit. They talk about Pooh Chicey snitching. What that shit?
I can't remember. Probably. Get all my ad libs. I know that. Yo, it's your boy Slime Gun, and I just jumped off the course with that. Huh?
You dreamed up some delicious Domino's pizzas, like the viral pizza.
This is the perfect pizza.
And we want to see more. So we're bringing back the...
Huh? You made the call to lock me up, though? Oh, an argument, though? Why would I ever do something in front of my kids?
This shot Glizzy arrest.
My kids, man.
Hey, boy, Child Glizzy got booked. These niggas be getting booked. That shit be too much. I can't do it, bro. I can't do it. What the fuck? Everybody always, yo, this that more that tight, that talent should be out of control now. That's just the new thing, bro. Everybody talk about this shit. Let's see what they talk about.
Shiesty is no longer in federal custody, according to his attorney.
Pooh Shiesty is officially home from federal prison, and a lot of y'all are confused about how this happened. The Memphis rapper was supposed to be locked up until April 2026, but he's walking free in October 2025. That's over 6 months early. Did Pooh give up some info, or was it something else? This is the wild story of how Pooh Shiesty ended up in federal prison and how he came home early, where it all started. Lontrell Williams Jr., better known as Pooh Shiesty, is from South Memphis, Tennessee. And when I say South Memphis, I'm talking about one of the most violent areas in the entire country. This ain't no regular neighborhood. We're talking about a place where seeing your first friend get murdered before you turn 15 is just part of growing up. Memphis has over 100 different gangs operating in a city of 500,000 people. That's roughly 14,000 gang members, which is basically a small army. Every major gang you can think of has a presence there. Bloods, Crips, plus dozens of smaller crews that will body you for looking at them wrong. But here's the crazy part about Pooh's story. His father, Lontrell Williams Sr., wasn't just some regular street dude. He was a rapper who went by Mob Boss and founded his own record label called Mob Ties Records. So from day one, Pooh was exposed to both the music industry and the streets. And when I say the streets, I mean the real streets. In 2004, when Pooh was only 4 years old, his pops got arrested as an accessory in the murder of a local radio DJ. 3 years later, his dad got hit with drug trafficking charges after police found cocaine, weed, scales, ammunition, and $10,000 cash during a raid. So before Pooh even started elementary school, his father had been arrested for murder and running a trap house. That's the environment that shaped this dude from the beginning, the early criminal history. By age 11, Pooh was already following in his father's footsteps. He caught his first robbery charge at just 11 years old. That same year, he got expelled from middle school for allegedly bringing a gun to campus. At 14, he was arrested again, but since he was a minor, those details stayed sealed. His mom tried to get him away from all that Memphis street life by sending him to Texas for a couple years, but as soon as his dad got out of prison, Pooh came right back to the city. The streets were calling, and he was answering. The music breakthrough. Now, Pooh didn't start taking rap seriously until after.
Well, you said, can you help me to understand why he chose to go back
While he was chasing
to Louisiana instead of taking his chances of being released in Atlanta?
In 2018, he started dropping.
He wasn't never gonna get released in Atlanta. Well, extradition works like this. Where the judge said that you got the right when you get extradited to another state, right? If you was locked up for like a traffic ticket or some shit and you had a $5,000 bill, they give Baltimore a certain amount of time to come get you. Baltimore not about that. It's gonna cost them $5,000 to send transit down there to get you and bring you back to Baltimore. So what they'll do is they just will let you go. His case, he's an escaped inmate. He's the property of Louisiana. He not trying to waste no time in Atlanta jail, those 90 days doing all this and that. He's already convicted. He already got life in prison. So he on some shit like it's over. My run over with. I'm going back behind the door. They ready to put me on lockup. He already strapped up mentally for what's about to happen to him behind the door. But he'd be on lockup for a few months and get off of lockup and be a regular population. So it wasn't no need to hold it up. You get what I'm saying? He held it up for almost 6 months. You know what I mean? Same thing I would have told him, man. I ain't waiving. I'm waiving my extradition here, and man, send me back to Louisiana because Atlanta, he has no business in Atlanta. Atlanta don't want him. Atlanta don't want him for no reason. So that's why he just like send me back where I'm from. You get what I'm saying? Shorty already been locked up for 8 years. Out of 8 years since 2017, that man was home 150 some days. You know what I mean? On the run for that 150 some days. So yeah, he just going back to face his reality. You know what I'm saying? And he was already in prison. That's all he did was have 150 days of freedom. You get what I'm saying? That's it. He's still been locked up 8 years. Like, that's it. And if you ask me, I know that shit felt good because niggas gonna ask him, like, yo, shit felt good. Dudes that never got out, they've been locked up 10, 20, 30, 40 years. They gonna ask him, how was it feel to be free for 150 days? Because some dudes, freedom just don't exist. You know what I mean? So to answer your question, that was in his best interest just to go back to Louisiana. They're gonna send you to Angola. You get in prison, you can get your packages and shit. You know his family, he got a family, so they're gonna send him his packages, put money on his books, he get to talk to his people and face his consequences. And it carries between 2 to 10 years. They probably gonna max them niggas out. They probably gonna give him 10 years. He don't give a fuck because he got life in prison. No matter how much time they give him for this break-in, and thank God that nobody got hurt. You know what I mean? Nobody got killed. He didn't commit crimes while he was on the run. So, you know what I mean? Hey, he gotta do his life sentence and keep appealing his life sentence and doing whatever he gotta do, man. But that ain't the last you gonna hear from him because he ran for 150 days. Anything he write, he gonna kind of like it's crazy to say this, but he generated them 150 days on the run, he generated himself a lot of attention for the next 10 years because somebody gonna want him to tell that story. That's a book, that's a movie, that's a doc series. There's all types of shit that come with that. And you know, you ain't allowed to make money as a a prisoner, but you can sign your life rights over for your family or whoever want to deal with that to make it's ways around that shit. It's ways around that shit that they can't stop it. I'm just gonna be real honest with you. Even if they wanted to stop you from getting that money, they can't really stop it. You know what I mean? It's too many places that thing can go. You know what I mean? You might can't, but it'll benefit you in the long run. And I don't know what he was thinking, but my mind different. All them days on the run, man, I'd have had a motherfucking device. I wouldn't have been calling nobody. I'd have been recording, talking every day. I definitely would have made something out of like that other dude, Mancy. Like, you got to make it something out of it because, believe it or not, it's somebody that believe you. I'm just being honest with you. It's somebody that believe you. You know, criminals and people that do shit, they got people that believe you. Just like you got people that believe you did it, you got people that you didn't did it. You got people that believe he should be in jail for the rest of his life. You got people that believe he shouldn't. So, you know what I mean? It's a 50-50 toss-up. But hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment, man. I'm trying to break into the algorithm, hang out in here for a little bit, and just break into the algorithm and grind it out. That's all I'm on. I ain't on that. You know what I mean? Just grinding, man. Trying to get my channel back up, trying to push it, making it hard. I promise the people I'm going to go crazy into December and I'm going to hold my word. You know what I mean? As long as I can get in front of this camera and create content, I'm going to create content, man. I'm going to just run till I can't, till I get exhausted. But I'm going to flood my channel with content. That's what I'm going to do. You know, like Big Mama said, I'm going to feed them kids. I'm going to feed the internet. You know what I'm saying? It's like I did good my first day back, and then it just went down. But that's just the games that's being played as a grinder, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's hard, but it's fair. You just got to take the bitter with the sweet and maintain. You know what I mean? That's what people gotta understand that. You gotta take the bitter with the sweet and maintain. And I feel like Derrick Grove did that. He blew the kiss. He yelled what he yelled out. It's over. You know what I'm saying? That last yell before they took him out the thing, and after that, it's just behind that cold wall. Behind that cold wall. And hey, got a long time to think about it. You know, you never know. You know what I'm saying? Shorty might get an appeal. Something might happen in his case. He might get a breakthrough. You never know what's going to happen for him, but it's going to happen for him, man. Hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment. No fuck shit, no fake shit, no foolishness. Anything you say can't and will be used against you on the internet. RDP, I'm in the building, man. I'm grinding, I'm working, I'm breaking through the algorithm. All I ask you, if you like my channel, just hit the notification button, subscribe, donate to the channel, whatever, man. I really appreciate y'all, man. But I'll be back in here in the morning, man. I'll be back. It's Friday. Try to make it to Juma, inshallah, man. But I'm a grinding. I'm in beast mode. And them interviews coming. I got an interview coming up. I'm lining up interviews too, man. You know what I mean? We grinding, me and Spaz too. Third World, we got something coming, man. I'm just in beast mode. I'm just working. It's hard, but it's fair. Execution, no excuses. Work hard for it. Never give up. Push it to the limit. Let's go.